Okay, all right. Obviously, the second signing day, we're not signing any high school guys, but we're here to really announce and talk about, our transfers. We got 15 transfers. Obviously, KJ Jefferson, you've already met. We talked about him. Talking about the other guys, X-Ray Alexander, he was a freshman All-American from Idaho, a guy that we recruited extremely hard. Feel like he's got a chance to be a really big-time linebacker. He's a very good special teams player too, so we're very excited about him. Ethan Barr from Vanderbilt, another linebacker that we recruited, ended up going to Washington. They had the coaching change, and then he came back. He was a team captain for 2 years at Vanderbilt. Very good player, really excited about him. Coach Roof actually coached him at Vanderbilt his freshman year. Jabari Brooks, offensive lineman from Sanford, is a big athletic guy, has NFL potential. We're real excited about him. He can play center and play guard. Coach Hand and myself really zeroed on him. He's got a chance to really help us. Xavier Carter, kind of a defensive end / linebacker, really a pass rushing specialist, and that's the reason that we recruit him. Was at UNLV last year, was at LSU before. He's from Atlanta, an area that we recruit a lot. We know a lot about him, so we're really excited about him. Wes Dorsey, an offensive lineman, offensive tackle from Western Kentucky, a guy that started last year. He is 6'7", he's 315 pounds. Real excited about Wes and him being here too. Dalen Dotson, Big South Defensive Player of the Year from Tennessee Martin. A guy that is a really good, talented defensive end. He can also rush the passer, so we're excited about him. Antoine Jackson from East Carolina, a defensive back, a guy that we actually recruited before he went to East Carolina, so we knew a lot about him. Really excited about him. Adding depth to that corner position. Goldie Lawrence, a wide receiver that from right down the road we recruited extremely hard. He ended up going to Florida State. We're happy to get him back. He is a big, strong, fast guy. Obviously, Seminole connection. We got a lot of guys from his high school. Miles Montgomery, a running back from Cincinnati. Obviously, playing against him the last 2 years, we knew a lot about him. He's a big, strong guy. He is going to be great for our running back room. We're very excited about him. Evan Morris, tight end from Michigan State. Michigan State did a lot of similar things that we do offensively, and Alec Holler with the things that he did, very similar with that. This guy's a big guy. We're excited to have Evan too. Deshaun Pace was all Big 12 honorable mention, obviously playing against Cincinnati the last 2 years. We felt like he was one of their best players the last couple of years. He's an impact player. He's a big time cover guy. He's a big time tackler. He's just a true football player, and so we zeroed on him. He could have done a lot of different things, and he came with us. So we're very excited about Deshaun. Josiah Pierre, he's also all Big 12 honorable mention, linebacker from Texas Tech. Obviously, we played them. We know a lot about him, a lot about them, and a lot about him. And he's from local, right down the road. He originally signed with Florida. So he's a big athletic guy that has a lot of experience at the linebacker position too. Ladarius Tennyson is a guy that I actually recruited at Auburn when I was head coach there from Rockledge, right down the road. He went to Ole Miss. He's one of the better special teams player really in the entire country. He's a nickel defensive back type guy that has a lot of NFL potential. So we're very excited to have him. And then Byron Threets, another defensive back from Cincinnati, physical, real explosive guy. Obviously playing them the last 2 years, he always stood out to me. And he has a chance to be an impact player for us. So, we really zeroed in on our immediate needs, and we feel like we accomplished that. All these guys have fit in very good so far. They're off to a great start as far as good teammates and everything that goes with that, and just excited to get those guys out there in the spring with our current team and go from there. Questions?
Coach, obviously there were some issues on defense last year. How important was it to elevate the talent level on that side of the ball with guys who have proven that they can play at the college level?
Yeah, it was very, that was really one of our main things that we need to do is get some playmakers And what I wanted is some experience, some veteran guys that have been there and done that, not just potential. And so we zeroed on them, some of the leading tacklers on their teams. And, like I said, team captains all the way from, the conference player of the year. So we really addressed those. Feel really good about going this spring as far as addressing the tackling and impact players on defense.
Guys, how much did your efforts in the transfer portal change a little bit, maybe, or altered because of that first season in the Big 12? Did you maybe have to tweak some things based on what you guys saw from the league?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, when you learn, obviously, the first year you go through a league, and this was a very physical league. A lot of people on the outside would think, it's a 7-on-7 type league. It was just the opposite. And obviously addressing our defensive issues with tackling and getting some impact players, that was a big deal. A few offensive linemen, to mix in with what we already have, that was really important. A tight end, we got us a tight end too that had experience, which, coupled with the guys we got coming back, that was important too.
You had some issues on defense, like I said before, but aside from quarterback, you guys focused a lot on linebacker, this transfer portal. What are some of the guys on the linebacker position going to bring to the team?
Yeah, the big thing is we lost our 2 starters, okay, and we were a little thin at linebacker last year anyway, as far as experience goes, and just felt real strong that we need to get some experience there, some guys that have played and played well, and we did that. We addressed the needs, and we got some good young guys coming up that I think are going to be good in time, and so really address that need, and real excited about the group coming in.
You mentioned that you landed a couple of offensive linemen with the loss of a lot of offensive linemen either to graduation or transfer portal. Did you guys highlight that as a position of need when looking at the transfer portal?
Yeah, when we're in the transfer portal, it is very specific, just for our need, and we still are committed to building this thing the right way through the high school, building it that way, but. These were all needs, immediate needs that we felt like we needed to address, and that's exactly what we did. And the offensive line, getting these 2 guys was a part of that.
You talked a little bit about Miles. He had one of the higher yards per carries in the conference last year. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about more of what he adds to the room? Well,
first of all, he's a great person. We're all, you got to make quick decisions in the transfer portal, but we start with the type of people they are. And he's an outstanding young man. He breaks tackles. He's a physical runner. When you see him, you can tell he's really put together well. He's a veteran guy, protects the football. So it was all those things combined.
Guess you got 3 players from Cincinnati, which is kind of one of your guys' rivals.
Yeah.
Is that showcase kind of how the transfer portal's changed, that you're able to bring along some guys that maybe you faced against, in the last couple of years, and now you have a chance to actually see them?
I think when you coach against someone, everything about them, and so had a lot of respect for these 3 players we brought in. The last 2 years, obviously, that's kind of turned into a rival of ours, and just all 3 of those guys were really, really good players the last couple of years. So it was great to get them with us.
I know center was kind of a revolving door with injuries and different things that happened last year. You signed Jabari Brooks from Sanford, Caden Kittler returns. Would that kind of be the competition that you see in spring between the 2 guys?
I think so. And Jabari's capable of playing guard too. And Walt Clare is another guy that's we feel really good about. With the center position, there'll be some good competition, and you can never have enough depth. At center, and so all 3 of these guys will be in the mix.
What is the kind of personality traits that you're looking for when recruiting a guy, either a commit or a transfer? What do you want to see from them?
Yeah, well, transfer, it's like immediate need. You got to say, can they play? Can they come in here right now and help us? And then you also look to see their character, like I said. As far as high school, it's just like we're recruiting the top players in the country, that we feel like can help us win a championship. And, from a high school standpoint, you get to know these guys a lot better. You develop a true long-term relationship. The portal's a little bit different. That's just a deal that everybody's learning. So you do the best you can as far as everything goes, but the bottom line is you turn the film on and say, okay, yeah, he can definitely come in here and help us.
Gus, you added another coach in Coach Reed since we last got a chance to
Yeah.
speak with you.
Yeah.
What does he bring to the coaching staff, and,
Yeah.
and how excited are you to have him come and join you guys?
Yeah, Trevon is a guy that, he was a top 10 player in the country back, I guess, in 2009. We recruited him out of Louisiana. I mean, he played for 2 national championships with us. Played in the league for a long time, and just, he's like family, and real excited to bring him. He's a dynamic personality. As far as a coach, the sky's the limit. He's a really, really good recruiter too, and has that ability to relate to players. And I just think, under Addie's leadership of the secondary, I think he's really going to do a great job with our corners.
For fans who maybe don't quite understand how the transfer portal works, can you just kind of explain like what that process is like, how you connect with these players and how you get them to come here?
Yeah, but they got to go they have to go in the portal first, and as soon as a player goes in the portal, I mean, you've got to really be quick about getting film up, and doing as much homework as you can in a short period of time, and then you get them on campus and you get around face to face, and just that's the best way to for me to know if they fit or not, and but it's all about immediate needs for us.
Coach, from a high school level, how do you perceive this February signing day now? The transfer portal has kind of made it obsolete at the D1 level. Most of the kids, a high percentage of kids signing today are signing at lower levels.
Yeah.
What's the future of that? I think for the second or third year in a row, you didn't sign anybody in February, so.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, the landscape of college football has changed dramatically in the last 2 years, like we've talked about numerous times, and I think there's a lot of talk of what the future looks like. Is there only going to be one signing day? What's the date going to be, and all that. So I think here in the near future, we'll have a lot more clarity in that, but you're exactly right. I mean, the December signing day is really the main one, and now that the portal is going, this is usually more portal oriented, especially for us the last couple of years.
Have you talked more amongst your peers about how you'd like to maybe see some changes with the early signing period? Because we talked in December how crazy that month is with bowl games and portal and early signing day.
Yeah.
Is that August? Is that something maybe you've talked about moving things up maybe to that summertime?
Yeah, there's talk about all that right now, about the different times and all that. I mean, my whole deal is whatever it is, you get in a routine. And, I was fine with when it was 1 in February, okay? But December and all that, I think the big thing from a coach standpoint is just whatever it is, define it, go with it, get used to it, get in a routine with it. But, like I said, it's evolved where the December signing day has been it. And if that's the way it is, we'll be ready to go.
Gus, the 2024 schedule came out since last time we spoke with you.
Yeah.
What did you think about that schedule, and how attractive has it been to see it?
It's a good schedule. The big thing for me is, last year we were the world travelers, and so I think we got 8 games in state. That's really, really important. That's really what stood out to me. We have one real road trip, obviously, to Arizona State. Besides that, I like our schedule. Some really good teams. I think the unique thing for me is I think there's only 2 teams that we played last year that are on the schedule. So I don't know if that happens very many conferences, but that's pretty unique. We're excited about it. I think there's going to be some really, really good home games that our fans are really going to enjoy, and so we're looking forward to it.
The bye weeks that you guys have set up, and
Yeah.
you get the early bye week, and then you face Colorado, and then go to Florida. How beneficial is that for you guys early on?
I think it's good. Of course, you always, when you look at your bye weeks, which I'm fine with our bye weeks, you also look to see how it affects. Do they have a bye week the same week you have? And then how many teams have bye weeks before they play if you don't have a bye week? So you kind of look at all those. But overall, I think it's a solid schedule for us, and I think it sets up a whole lot better than last year.
Last season, one of the strengths on the offense was the playmakers, R.J. Harvey, Kobe Hudson. So how is it adding these guys into the mix and making sure they get the time that they need, along with the new commits and learning from under them?
Well, that's 2 of the better players, coming back in our league, not just our team that you said. I mean, they're impact players, so we're very excited to have those guys back, along with, KJ Jefferson coming in, and, and then the rest of the group coming in. I mean, you're just trying to build a team and a roster that gives you a chance to win a championship.
Time for one more.
A lot of the guys that you got in the transfer portal were, either from Orlando or like from around the area. How important was it to land local talent?
Yeah, so when we first got here, I mean, we recruited the top players, you know, from around the area, even if they were 5-star, 4-star, and we tried to develop those relationships. And the thinking was that if they don't sign with us, they go somewhere else, we're gonna be waiting on them back here at home. So you see that starting to become more and more of a reality, which that was part of the plan when we first got here. Okay, thank you all.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll be in.
Thanks, guys.